Welcome back, Shalligators. Ooh, baby. Today we're going to break down some breaking news. Lily James's totally not foreseeable fling with Dominic West. Now, those two are going to be starring in an upcoming BBC movie called, I think, The Pursuit of Love. Who cares? But you might remember Dominic from his show called The Affair. Yes, he did a whole show about a married man cheating on his wife. Seems he took method acting a little bit too far because Dominic is very much married to a woman named Catherine who is very much still thinking she's his wife. There's some developments there. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk not just about the bullshit that's going on with this, but the psychology behind it. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of dating a married man. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, the pros? Are you here advocating for people dating married men? Bitch, no, obviously. But if you're dating someone who's taken, whether he's got a girlfriend or a wife, you are getting an emotional payout from that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Humans don't do things that don't work for them, right? Not for very long. So if this is a pattern you find, or if you've been dating someone on and off who's got another situation, there is a reason why you are getting something out of it. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about, all that. But before we do, just a reminder to go to my Instagram, click follow. It's where you guys weigh in on video topics, suggest them, we vote. It's all very democratic and fantastic. Also, if you would like a video shout out for a friend, a pep talk, a birthday wish, even for yourself, head on over to Cameo and find me over there. And last but not least, follow me on InStream. It is our ad-free, uncensored platform. I have a video up now all about my new boyfriend. The red flags that I'm seeing in a relationship. Anyway, so head on over there. We're also going to be doing a lot of Evil Week on InStream. So tell me what you guys want to see out of Evil Week. But speaking of evil, not even evil, just fuckery. And fuckery to me is on par with evil these days because it is absolutely everywhere. So here's what happened. Yesterday, photos hit the internet on the Daily Mail of Lily James gallivanting around Rome, which I will give you is an incredibly romantic city. Okay, objection sustained. With her co-star Dominic West. Lily is 31, Dominic is 50. Remember that he's 50, that comes into play later. And his wife was like devastated. Her friend spoke to the Daily Mail and was like, she thought they were very much together. Like she had no idea any of this was going on. She's crushed, she's heartbroken, and he's not even answering his phone. That to me was like, dude, not answering your phone? Oh, I fell asleep. Oh, did you? You better fall asleep for the next 40 years. And what struck me about this, and maybe what struck you guys, a few things. Like, first of all, Lily, wasn't she just with Chris Evans? There's a reason Chris Evans can't hold on to a woman, and it's in the realm of grilled cheese. If you're a Shalligator, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a reason women kind of get sick of him pretty fast. And she started dating Chris after she broke up with Matt Smith. I think his name Smith. I don't really care for him. I think he looks like a pencil. They had a 5-year on and off relationship. And after you get out of something that's probably dramatic and hurtful and blah, 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 and then you encounter this older dude who is just like cartoon bug eyes for you, where maybe your ex was very whatever-ish. That is tough to resist. So that was yesterday that these photos broke and he wasn't answering his phone. Well, today, apparently things have done a 180 because at 10:30 this morning, England time, Dominic and his wife, Catherine, did this weird press conference photo op at their house with these forced god-awful kissing pictures. I mean, look at how their faces are smashed up against each other. Like, is this like a junior high dance? And said, our marriage is strong, we're very much together. Only they didn't say it. They printed it out and gave it to reporters. They printed it out and handed it to reporters. If you have to do that, it's like the old saying, you have to tell someone you're a lady, you're not. If you have to tell someone you're classy, you're not. If you have to insist on it, no. And then Dominic had this god-awful, smug look, the shit-eating grin on his face. It's already gone viral and memed. Thank God for the internet sometimes. But notice that their ring finger hands are curiously in their pockets. No one can see either of their hands. Sometimes in England they wear them on the right side. We can't see any of their hands. They are handless people. Might as well be a hook in there. Gee, I wonder why you would obscure your ring finger in the wake of a cheating scandal. But the wife is doing it too. And I'm just like, girl, baby, what is you doing? What is you doing? What could that man have said in the last 24 hours that would make you do this shit? This bullshit photo op supporting him and enabling him. Because it's not like he can't be like, I wasn't there. That wasn't me. There's photos. There's receipts. It's true. I don't care. You know what I hate to hear? It's like, I'm thinking of the children. No, you're not. You're just being a coward. Get real with yourself. She's an aristocrat. She's a rich woman on her own. I'm sorry. If you have the financial means to leave a shitty man and you're not, that's on you. Don't put it on the kids. You imagine those poor kids growing up and being like, oh, I'm the reason you stayed with the cheater? Thanks. Thanks, Mom. No, absolutely. Walk in the light of your truth. I don't want to leave him. I still love him. I get that. I fully get that. Who doesn't? You get blindsided by something, but like, to make this kind of big public declaration so soon is just beta as fuck to me. I've been cheated on, and I don't care if you had a gun to my back. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have. I'd rather you just shoot me, because then at least you're going to prison, so I kind of win. So let's talk. Let's break this down. Let's look at this from Lily's point of view, you know? Because we talked a lot about being cheated on. But we don't talk a lot about being the other woman. We have done a video on being the side chick. So funny. What are the pros and the cons? Like I said, I've dated guys who were taken. And first of all, it's very important to walk, again, in the light of the truth about what these guys are going to tell you. Let me go ahead and spoiler alert what a married or taken dude is going to say about his girlfriend, okay? She doesn't understand me. I'm only staying for the kids. I can't afford to leave. She's so crazy. She's sick. Blah, blah, blah. She nags me all the time. It's either a victim story, make him the victim, her the villain, right? And him as powerless. A man with 2 chicks is not powerless. He is powerful. And he's doing this on purpose. He's the little puppet master. Dance puppets. Compete for my love. Let me tell you, let me let you in on a little secret. If his wife or his girlfriend was so awful, he wouldn't be with her. Like we said at the beginning, people don't chronically engage in behaviors and relationships that don't serve them. So if you're making excuses for why he's with her, you need to wake up, baby girl, because there is probably not that much wrong with their relationship. I mean, there is. She's with a cheater that she doesn't even know about. But think of it this way. Who's the real loser here? And in a way, who's the real villain? You are. The wife, the girlfriend, she doesn't know anything. Like she's just like making his dinner, folding his boxer briefs, going about her life, thinking she has a successful mate in terms of his fidelity. He is like, just playing both sides, getting everything he wants, the stable wife at home, the fun fling on the side. Everyone's just buying the shit that he's selling. And you alone are losing. You have the worst parts of being single and the worst parts of being in a relationship, right? You know what kind of man he is. Whether you want to admit that to yourself and read the writing on the wall, he is a cheater. And girl, why do you think that if he's doing it to her, he won't do it to you? You lose him how you get him, right? Cheating is not about who they're cheating on. I've cheated on people, had nothing to do with the guy. It was about me. It was about me and my selfishness, my entitlement, my low self-esteem, on and on and on. I got that in order and I don't do that anymore. That was early 20s youthful bullshit, okay? I'm a grown woman now. But you know what you're telling yourself? He's not going to do that to me. I'm special. Girl, okay, I know that you're special, all right? We're all special. We're all unique. We're all our own mini Beyoncés inside. I get it. You are absolutely not special to this person. Don't you think that at one time his wife was special? His girlfriend was special? If she wasn't, why would he have partnered with her? Well, you know what? He was just bullied into it or whatever. But he stayed. And he continues to stay. He continues to stay. This is what you must look in the face. He continues to stay because it's actually not as broken as he's making it out to be. What do manipulative people want? Pity, right? Makes us all very, very elastic. I feel sorry for him. He can't leave. Can't? King Henry VIII split the Catholic Church in two, created a whole new religion to get Anne Boleyn because she wouldn't fuck him until he did, right? King Edward abdicated the throne of England, lots going on in England, to get Wallace Simpson. Men will cross oceans. They will start wars. They will take on the Holy Roman Empire to get the woman they want. So re-examine the story you're telling yourself about why he can't leave, especially if this is just a girlfriend situation. Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. I don't love you anymore. I'm moving out. Done. It's not that hard. And you know what? People get divorced all the time. And look, I know what you're telling yourself. Yeah, people get divorced all the time and they go on to marry their mistresses. That's definitely true. But the key word there is they get divorced. They don't drag it out, constantly have this mistress, fuck around with both women, because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Do you know what Catherine has taught Dominic West? You can cheat as much as you want. And you can do it as publicly as you want. You can humiliate me as just all day long, and I am still going to crawl back to you. Not even in private. I'm going to do it publicly. And the fallout period where I'm mad, where you're in the doghouse, is going to be about 16 hours. So if you can wait that out, you're good. And you can go fuck as many little starlets as you want. That's what she's taught him. We teach people how to treat us. So what are the pros that we're getting out of being with married men, right? Because obviously we know what the cons are. It's terrible. Well, you need to ask yourself that too. I've had friends who married men, not just with a girlfriend, married. And it was just awful to watch because it was so obvious they weren't going to leave their wives, you know? And finally I was like, why are you doing this? It was my friend, ironically named Catherine, just like the wife. And I was like, why are you doing this? And not like in this moral, hypothetical, like existential way. Like, why are you doing this? Like literally, why are you? What are you getting out of this? And I said, what are you getting out of this? She's like, nothing. What are you talking? I don't want this. I'm like, you do because you keep choosing it. Every time you answer his text, you choose this. Every time you allow him to meet you in a park, you know, squirreled away for a secret date, you are choosing this. Why? What is the story you're telling yourself to keep this situation going? And you know, it took her a long time to figure that out. And I kept hammering her about this. And it wasn't from a morality place, like I could give a shit, but it was, this isn't serving you in a healthy way. You're getting something out of it, but not in a healthy way. And she said one of the things she was getting out of it is she didn't have all these demands placed on her. She had basically a part-time boyfriend, which was interesting. You know, I'm like, you know, I totally get that. Like, okay, you may go now. You know, she could really be independent and have her own life. She's a very independent person. She also said that it was kind of like always in the novelty phase, and they were together for years. And she's like, it's like he's always chasing me because he never quite has me. And I thought that's interesting because you're always chasing him because you never quite have him. It is a truth that women conquer men through relationships and men conquer women through sex. So if you're dating a married man, no one's really conquered the other person completely. Like, yeah, he can have sex with you, but not all the time. He's not sick of it. It's like, oh, it's kind of like just vaguely out of reach. He's got to like move some pieces around so that he can see you and meet up with you in secret. And you conversely have done the same thing. You have him, but not really. So neither of you can get sick of each other, right? So you're kind of in this constant, that new tingly phase. Because they were together for a long time. And I was like, how are you guys like not just sick of each other? It's just like boyfriend, girlfriend. And that's why. So maybe the takeaway is, I don't know, because I know that I'm a lot like that too. I'm a serial obsessor. I'm like, ooh, I get really fixated on something. I'm like, ugh, like I will eat the same thing for a month, listen to the same song 100 times, be it fixated on a boy, and then just be like, I'm so done. Don't talk to me about it. It'll always be a favorite, but not a current, you know? And so I have tried, because I think that's what kept me engaged in my side chick situations. I have tried to find that level of novelty in healthier ways, right? I start a lot of hobbies. I don't always finish them. I don't go pro. Maybe I'll go to Michael's and buy all this crafting equipment and I'll craft for a whole weekend and be like, I never want a needlepoint again. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. I will go on a manic binge using my crock pot, just berserk. And then I'll be like, I'm only grilling for the next 6 months. That's okay. Who cares? If it's just a little time and a little money you lose, that's fine. But it gets that itch out so that I can have healthier relationships, so that I can be productive and get that sort of like energy out in a way that's better. I think that's why I travel so much. I'm stimulated. Oh my God, it's a whole new city and new foods and new languages and new cultures and smells, so that I'm not constantly trying to get that from my interpersonal relationships. And we tend to do that. We tend to like get all our yayas out in one category. And it's usually the romantic one. And it's incredibly destructive. It's incredibly destructive. You know, we see this, the most distilled example is girls who only have their boyfriend as their friend. They have no friends besides their boyfriend. You know, we all know that like that's bad. Like you can't rely on your boyfriend for all of your social needs, all of your emotional needs. Inevitably, he's going to disappoint you, mostly because men are just constant disappointments. But because you can't put that much on one person. We don't just have one friend either. You know, we get a mix. We don't wear one outfit. We don't eat one food. So we acknowledge that, but we need to extend that and look at why, if we're chronically in a side chick position, what are we getting out of it? Another thing that oftentimes we get out of that is, I think sometimes people, they don't have a fear of failure. They almost have a fear of success. Like either they don't believe they have the skills to take a relationship all the way and make a full-on partnership, or they don't want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. That's fine. And I remember my friend, when she was dating the married guy, tried to kind of say that to me. She's like, I don't want a full-time relationship. It's too much work. I like my independence. You know, this works for me. And I'm like, Catherine, no, it doesn't. Because it's all you talk about. It's all you think about. I have seen how it's corroded you, how bad you feel about yourself. Why does your independence, a work-life balance with a boyfriend, a relationship, having your own independent space, why does the price tag on that have to be your soul? Why does it have to be your dignity? Why can't you find a relationship like that where he's going home to his own house and his dog, not to his wife and kids? There's 8 billion people in the world, dude. Do you think this lying motherfucker is the only one you can find that literal schedule with? If this is a scheduling issue, shit, okay, that's easy. That's easy. My boyfriend and I have a schedule of when we see each other, because we were getting out of balance, and I get very, very testy if I don't have enough alone time. I'm an only child. And as much as I like someone, I don't want to see them every day. It's like, you again. No, we see each other Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some Saturdays, you know? And that really, really works. I feel in control, okay? But previously in my life, I was getting that from being in side chick positions when I was like 21 or something. So it was interesting. My friend was trying to sell me that story. I was like, that's bullshit. Like, I mean, okay, on its face, it makes sense, but you look a little deeper. Of course you're not happy. And of course this isn't working. But one other thing she had said one time, which I thought was really interesting, is that because he was married, it was already broken. So if it failed, she had an excuse about why. It wasn't her personal failure. It was broken from the start. You know, it was already bad. So we were just kind of living on borrowed time. And that was kind of the story she told herself in the beginning of the affair. And I think it was true. You know, it's like, hey, like, what have I got to lose? Like, my heart was already broken up front. I remember her saying, and I thought that was so interesting. Like, and it just spoke to not a lot of confidence in herself, which is literally, I would never blow up someone like this, but like, I wish you could see her because she's just the biggest bombshell in the world. Like, she's just the coolest, most awesome person. And I'm like, you of all people think that like you can't sustain a relationship? Like, you don't feel confident enough in yourself to say, I deserve more. And I had said that to her one time. I'm like, you know what? Even the shittiest people out there, they know they deserve to like wake up with someone next to them, go on weekend getaways, introduce the fam, go to a wedding, have them as the date. You don't think you deserve that? Like, why? And that is a very complicated question. And she didn't have an answer for it. And I still don't have an answer for it today. Because it's so hard for us to watch our friends who we see as just magical, just sparkles, do these things that are so debasing, so corrosive and corrupting. And you're like, why are you doing that to yourself? Because you know what? At some point, like I said earlier, you are the loser. Like, you are losing, but you feel like a loser. I didn't feel good about myself when I was dating dudes with girlfriends. I felt awful. I mean, it took a while for me to get there because I was instead channeling all of that self-hate onto hating her, the girlfriend who knew nothing about anything. I didn't hate the guy because I was desperate to have a guy. So God forbid I would hate the guy. Like, no, I have to keep him around at all costs to like validate my self-esteem and give my life purpose. But now it's like, oh, bleh. Like, I was the gross one. Are you kidding? And I didn't like how that felt. And I remember it very vividly, very, very vividly. And I'm not ever going to go back to that. I will summarize this video in the immortal words of Blanche Devereaux from The Golden Girls, our generation's greatest philosopher. It was the episode where Dorothy's dating a married man. And Rose is like, evil is as evil does. You know, judgy as Roses want to do. And Dorothy's like, oh, will you stop being so sanctimonious? At least Blanche understands. She's been down this road before, dating married men. And Blanche is like, oh, no, I haven't. And they're like, what? She's like, well, I'm no fool. The man always feels so guilty. He ends up giving the really expensive jewelry to the wife. Just never seemed worth it. And I was like, that's so true. It's just not worth it. Like I said, 8 billion people. Come on, girl. This poor woman needs to leave Dominic West. He's not even hot anymore. Just pathetic. I want to know your experience with married men or taken guys with a girlfriend. Have you been the side chick? I know that we've all been cheated on. We don't need to hear about that. But have you been the side chick and has it worked out? Like, has a guy left his wife or girlfriend for you? How did you do it? Like, literally, do a TED Talk. I want to know. Because obviously, yes, it happens. You know, guys leave their wives. They are in unhappy situations. And to me, there's no shame in it. But if he does the right thing and he's like, I have to extricate myself from this before it goes to an inappropriate place, okay. But as we know, it doesn't always go like that. So if it did for you, I want to hear about it. Like I said, find me on Instagram at ShallonXO. Click like and subscribe. Later this week, we're going to be doing another video on Kendall and Kylie and their big blow up in Palm Springs and what to do if you are realizing you're a bit of a martyr. We'll break it all down. See you later, Shalligators.